but I promise you it'll be worth your time and energy to get here. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I'd like to officially welcome you to the announcement of our new interim superintendent. First of all, I want to share a little bit about the process that we went through in our selection. We had a number of choices, a number of applicants that had submitted for this position. The board met several times. We've had discussions of what we thought we needed for the district, what we thought we needed for our students, our teachers, our community, and we had a wish list of things that we were hoping to find. We were able to go through that selection, and we know it's been a fairly fast process. However, I want to thank Jason Cravens for stepping up and filling in as the acting superintendent. We don't have a very broad leadership team, so he has his own responsibilities that he's had to take care of at the same time. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to come to a resolution very quickly, so we didn't tax our students for the entire year by not being prepared for this school year. I'll share a little bit. Dr. RIdder, Dr. Norm RIdder, comes to us from Melville, which is out of the St. Louis area. Before Melville, Dr. RIdder was a superintendent in Springfield for a number of years and superintendent in Colorado Springs. He served as an interim superintendent for a number of stints. So he comes to us with both experience as a superintendent and as an interim. One of the things that really impressed me about Dr. RIdder was he's a data-driven guy. And I think maybe you may have heard before that I'm a real data-friendly person. I promised my wife I wouldn't say data-driven anymore, but Norman can do that now. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring Dr. RIdder up here and let him say a few words.
Well, anyway, I want to thank the school board for giving me this opportunity to be able to work with the Joplin area. And to be honest with you, I think it's an area that's yet to be discovered. And I know it's one of the original territories in the state going way back. But still, I think coming off the storm that you had 4 years ago, I think it's an opportunity, excellent opportunity to continue to get better and to improve, but also an excellent opportunity to really start focusing more and more on children. And that's really why I'm here. That's what I do a very good job at, is being able to help the community know where it's at, to be able to collect that type of data, but also to really become, I feel that the community has worked very hard. It really has. The community has worked very hard to really respond to that tragedy, but also worked very hard to try to really do the best thing. But I don't know if the community's worked smart. And really what I'm here to do is to help not just the school, but the overall community become a very smart approach, take a very smart approach to working and dealing with children. And I really feel that after my tenure here, it's going to be very obvious that what needs to be done as far as helping the community respond to the needs of its children. And what I've always found is that communities love their children. They really do. A lot of times what happens is communities tend to start focusing more and more towards the senior citizen, more and more towards ways to save money, and then they begin to lose their focus on children. Why does that happen? It's because mainly they don't realize or don't sense that there's a lack of communication and really keeping children in front of them. So that's what I can do. My wife, Nadine, is an acute dialysis nurse, has been part of the Mercy system ever since we came to Missouri. She's hoping to continue to do that. I have 5 children. One, my oldest, he is an assistant principal in Joplin, Colorado, and an AD. And he played for Notre Dame as a football player, so I'm an Irish, a Domer. Don't mess with me, because he is 6'7", he weighs 335, and all I have to do is give him a phone call. So anyway, he's a wonderful guy, and he is very, very sharp. He coached on the college and was asked to coach on the pro level, and decided to get married and says, no, I'm going to teach. So anyway, that's what he did. Then I have a daughter that's on the East Coast. She basically serves as oversight of the Bernie Madoff types and finance. And then I have a daughter that's an anesthetist. She just graduated from Thomas Jefferson in Philadelphia and is serving as an anesthetist in Denver. Then I have another daughter that's working with grants in public health in Denver and works a lot with the public schools there, especially the Denver public schools. And my youngest son, so my oldest is in education. My youngest son is a lawyer, and he works for Frank Azar, and he basically is protecting the homeless, protecting those that are abused by insurance and things like that, and so he loves what he does. So anyway, Nadine and I were heading towards Colorado to retire. Then I got a call. Then I got another call. And I kept saying to Nadine, what do you think? And she says, I don't think I want to go anywhere but to Colorado. So anyway, after several more calls within the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we decided to look into the situation, and she and I are both excited and very happy about this opportunity. And you're going to find that I have a tremendous amount of experience. But the first thing that I want to do is listen and learn from you so that I can apply what I know. Anyway, any questions that anybody might have? Anybody? Yes?
What was it about coming as interim for the Joplin School District that made the decision that you could put off retirement for a year or whatever?
A couple of years. I'm going to say 2 until proven wrong. Okay, and I'm going to help prove that wrong. But anyway, no, what helped me was basically, I really feel that there's a good match. What I can bring and what I can learn from the community is really rich with that. I've had several opportunities, I've looked at several opportunities within the state as well as outside the state. And where I'm at in my career, it's got to be a match. I got to be able to help prove and also learn. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And I think in this situation, it's definitely there. I know you have a school board that really has a huge appetite, but doesn't know for sure what they're doing. I have to say that in front of them. But anyway, I do sense that, and I think they have the right appetite, and I'm the one that can help lead that. So anyway, did that answer your question?
Partly. So what do you see your role? Is this a maintenance role? Is this an improvement role?
Oh, no, don't ever say maintenance to me. No, this is an improvement. This is going to be basically taking and identifying, really helping the system and the community understand where it's at as far as its work with children. And then eventually from that, put together a plan. I anticipate that. I see myself coming back to the board in about 3 months. And after I've had an opportunity to visit with all the leadership, with the teachers, with the kids, with the parents, and also with the community, come back to the board and identify with the board probably 3 goals they'd like to meet before the end of the year. And then I would report out on those goals as we go along through this whole process. So that's really what I see happening, is that it's a constant venture of creating a really high-performing system. And with kids really being engaged and excited about their learning.
You named interim superintendent right now, of course, but would you be open to being superintendent?
No.
Okay.
Now, I can't say that because I'm interim.
Right.
Okay, and I really think that's the goal. And I love being an interim, by the way. You know, when you have to work with the Jim Hortons of the world, you know, and you really do have a very good educational sense in this region, really in the whole Southwest Missouri. And so to me, it's a matter of me working with that group, setting the stage for somebody to come in, okay, and take it from there. That's really what I like to do, okay? So I can't say absolutely not. My wife and I may fall in love with it, and the board may, you know, really twist my arm. Believe me, by the way, money doesn't do anything for me on that, okay? So.
What do you see already, right now, as some challenges for the Joplin School District?
I think I hinted at one, and that is basically to help a board that really wants to be high performance, organized, become a high performing board. Number one. Number two, there's some gaps. There's some learning gaps. But I think there is another thing is, I don't know if the community understands the children very well. And I see that as a gap. And I'm anticipating, what I'm seeing is there's a gap between the frequent voter, the teacher, the parent, and student performance. I think there's some gaps there, and there's not very good alignment there that needs to be taken care of. All right? And so we're going to need to work and really target that and see how we can narrow those gaps and align that with a lot of flexibility. And I think that can happen. Because I think the appetite is here. I think everybody wants that to happen. It's just a matter of getting smart around it.
When I interviewed Dr. Huff before he retired, he said that a lot of people are concerned about the budget. A lot of people are saying that the school district is even in debt. Have you had a chance to look over the numbers? And if so, what are your thoughts on that?
I really don't see too much of an issue with the budget. But I've always found, for instance, in Melville, I went into that situation with a $5 million deficit. And we found out, the community found out, a number of people found out that it really wasn't a budget issue. It was a governing and communications issue. And then we found, and early on in the process, the community didn't realize there was a budget problem, number one. Number two, really didn't understand the students, where the students were at. We cleared that up and cleaned it up, and now they're ready to pass major levy. And so I think the thing is that you got to get all your eggs in order, and then the financing and budget comes into place. Right now, I think the budget as it is, this is way up. This is like 50,000 instead of 30,000. It looks fine. I think it still has a little bit of leftover from the tragedy. I think some of that is still there, but I think it's starting to come into place.
Would you like to see dollars spent a different way than how they have been?
Always. Always. You always got to spend money differently. You don't stick in the past. If you're going to spend money the same way, it's going to die. I'm a firm believer that if you're not growing, you're dead. Now, I think that's true for teachers. Teachers need to get better all the time. And teachers need to learn more than the student every day. And really with that type of idea or thoughts in place, it becomes a very rich learning type of environment. Then the money comes. But until that's in place, there's a lot of fear, blame, and resistance in the system, not only in the system, but in the community as well.
Have you had a chance to talk to teachers, and if so, have you been kind of gauging where there's some disappointment with the school district?
Talk to me in 6 weeks.
Okay. So you haven't talked to the teachers yet?
I have no, well, I've had a couple of, I'm not going to say. I have not had a chance to talk to teachers. Teachers are critical. By the way, you're going to find that this community loves its teachers more than teachers love themselves. Really? I found that to be the case. Probably 9 times out of 10. Okay? When you really do the research, you're finding that the community does love its teachers. They love their leadership as far as sites. They just don't like central office. And in fact, that's 99% of the time. But still, to be honest with you, I have to be proven that these teachers in Joplin are struggling and are not very good. But to me, from what I'm hearing, and also I'm sure they're going to prove that they're very good.
Jeff, can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, Joel, go ahead.
You mentioned... I'm with KZRG Radio.
Oh, radio, okay.
You mentioned that there are gaps. I know one concern that there has been in the community has had to do with the graduation rate. Do you think those gaps are at the cause or leading contributor to a low graduation rate?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. You're going to find that once the energy of the whole community basically is around the children and all the data is in place, the graduation rate is going to get tighter. It's going to get much stronger. And it's not only one key phrase you're going to hear me say an awful lot. We have to get these students to own their learning. They have to be in charge of their learning, not the teachers, not the parents, okay, not I. The students are in charge of their learning. And so what we have to do is measure to see how much that is really happening, okay? And that starts at kindergarten. You wouldn't believe how those kindergartners are in charge of their learning. They really are. And so a lot of times what gets in the way of the kindergarten learning is lack of skills, lack of learning in the early childhood. And then really what gets in the way there is lack of skill, lack of learning going on in the homes, okay? And so really the data will tell us where our focus needs to be. And I would say that you're going to find that critical piece for graduation rates is the percentage of kids at reading at the end of 3rd grade. When you have and you need to measure that on a regular basis. And so when that's in place, okay, and that rings throughout the whole system, by the way, and really your strongest support of teachers needs to be starting at kindergarten up through 3rd grade. Get those kids a reading level by 3rd grade. Get the kids to math level, 5th grade math level by the end of 5th grade. Everything else will start falling into place. In fact, your mobility will stop. Your attendance is going to go up. The graduation rate is going to go through the sky. But until those basic things are in place, and that's what we need to measure. And math doesn't do a good job with that, by the way. Nate doesn't do a good job with that. It's going to have to be something we do ourselves. And that's where you get the richness of the culture itself.